Right. Okay. So who can help me out? Who can help me out in today's session? Who can help me out in today's session, guys? Who can be okay? Let us talk to Kirtana Ganapati only. Kirtana Ganapati, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you are representing the whole class, okay? Is
Okay.
that okay? You are representing the whole class, right? So my first question to you all is, what do you mean by a process? What do you mean by a process?
Uh,
What
a
is a process?
program in execution.
You're asking me or you're telling me?
I'm telling, but with a little doubt.
Okay, so right, guys, anyone else in the chat box? What do you feel? What do you mean by a process? What is a process? Guys in the chat box, anyone tell something? No, I'm waiting for you. What do you mean by a process? If you don't know, say don't know. At least tell you don't know. It's okay. Sitting like this is really very irritating. Actually, you guys have to tell something. No, I'm waiting for you guys. And yeah. So what about others? Yeah, only two people are there. What about others? 33 people are there. Okay. Should I call out each and everybody's name? Particularly, should I call each and everyone's name? You reply, you reply, you reply, reply. Kind of, guys. You have some kind of really, this is so irritating that you don't respond. Right? Yeah. So how many are pending still? I'm asking you. I'm waiting for you guys, and you guys are, you're in your own world. Akshata, why did you take so much of time to tell that program in execution? You're telling it now. Nagmani is saying it's a job. Okay, when I'm asking you, tell something. No, respond. Really bad, guys. Really bad attitude, man. Right? Anyways, okay. Having said that, so come. Can you come again once again, Kirtana? What is it?
So a program which is under execution is a process.
Okay. So before a program, what was it? Before that becoming a program, what was it actually?
Before becoming a process or a program?
Sorry, yeah, before becoming a program.
Before becoming a program?
Yeah, what was it?
Uh, it's
Before becoming a
just
program, what was it?
some function.
It's actually a source file.
Okay, okay.
Yes or no? It was basically a
Yes.
source file. Whatever we write now, 1.py, 2.py, or whatever it is, that is basically a source file, isn't it? So here we
Yes.
write all our methods and all that, def and all those things we write, right, in high level language. This is basically called as your source file. Okay, guys, is that okay? So when the source file, when you actually compile, okay, what does this become? This become your binary file. Yes or no? This becomes your binary file, which is nothing but zeros and ones and all those. Correct, guys? Yes, no? Okay. So keep responding. Okay. I will not wait for your reply. I'll be proceeding further. If you have any doubt, you ask me. Okay. Because you guys are not responding to whatever I'm asking, and there is no meaning waiting for you guys. Okay. So what happens is when the source file, when you compile, becomes your binary. Okay. And which is nothing but the binary format is basically called as what? A program. This is basically called as a program. Okay, so initially when you write that is 1.py, 1.c, 1.py, or 1.java, or whatever it is, whatever you write, this is called as your source file. And the source file, when you actually compile, it becomes your program. Binary file is nothing but your program. And when this program is being executed, okay, when you run, okay, when the CPU starts executing it, this becomes basically your process. Okay, so this is basically called as a process. Okay, so what is a process? Process is nothing but, okay, in when you say the definition of process, any program under execution is basically called as a process. Okay, so in simple terms, in layman terms, it is when the CPU starts executing a program at that moment of time is basically called as a process. So before becoming a process, it was a program, and this program, before it becomes a program, it was actually a source file. Is that okay with everyone? Is that
Yes,
okay
sir.
with all? Yeah. So having said that, okay. So tell me what all do you know about your computer hardware? Okay. So there are three main entities. Who is that? First one is your CPU. There is one CPU. Okay. Then you have your RAM. That is your primary memory. This is your primary memory. Okay. And then what else you have? You basically have your hard disk, isn't it? You have your hard disk. Now tell me, when you write your source file, where is your source file present? Where is your source file present? It is there in the hard disk, or is it there in the CPU or in the RAM? Where is it present? Can you tell me?
Source
Kirtana, can you tell me where is it?
file.
Where is the source file present? Whether is it present in the CPU, is it on the RAM, is it on the hard disk? Where is it present?
It's in RAM? Not sure, sir. Not
Your
sure.
source file, your Kirtana, you are working in company, right?
Yeah,
Who recruited you?
the company only. Sir.
A company. I think that fellow who took your interview did not know anything, I guess. And that too, you're working with firmware. Okay. Naresh, why are you guessing hardware? It is, it should be there. Your source file after saving will definitely be there on your hard disk only, right? Yes or no? Kirtana Ganapati, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see here, now say for example, let me take this, okay. Okay, where is this, okay, there is this, Python materials, there is the Subhash backup, there is some multitasking, all these things are there, right? All these things you can see in the file, okay, or you have some programs all over here, okay, say you have desktop, 1.py applications and all that. Where are these things present? Where are all these present? These are all files, right? Where are these present? These are all present in your hard disk. They are all present on your hard disk here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Agree or disagree?
Yeah, yeah, agree.
Okay, these are basically present on your hard disk. Yes or no, guys? Right? So anything that you actually write, right? Your source file basically would be, okay, it would be on your hard disk. Okay. Now after compiling it, you will definitely get a binary file. Correct? No? Yes or no? You'll get a program, no?
Yes.
Kirtana, yes, no. After
Yes, sir.
compiling, say 1.c or 1.java or 1.py, Python will automatically happen. Okay, so if you compile this, you'll get a binary format, isn't it? Here you'll get
Yes.
a.out. Here you'll get a class file. In Java, you'll get a dot class file. Okay, so basically these are its program, right? So where are those programs present? Where is that binary file present? Where is it present? Tell me. Guys, tell me where are those present? You can put that in the chat box. Your source file is there on your hard disk. You write your source file, it is present on your hard disk. Okay, then you'll compile your program. Then the program is generated. That is you compile your source file, that becomes your program, which is nothing but binary. Where is that binary present? Kirtana, where is it present?
No idea, sir.
No idea.
I'm confused.
What is there in confused? It is not confusing here.
It's in hard disk only.
It will be on the hard disk only. Your binary file will also be on the hard disk. Let me write this as a binary file. Okay, your hard disk, what is that? Your binary file will also be on the hard disk. Okay, because hard disk is the place where your file system is there and all your files will be present on the hard disk only. Yes or no? Correct.
Yes.
Right now, okay, now your file is here, hard disk is there and all that. Okay, now I want to actually run this code. I want to run this code. When I run this code, what will happen? Tell me. I told you here what will happen when you run your binary file. Okay,
It
first was
will
a source
become a
file. Source file you
process.
compiled, it will become a binary. When you run, what will that become? Tell me.
It will become a process.
It will become a process. It becomes a
Process.
process. Yes or no? Anything that is being
Yes.
executed by the CPU will become a process, isn't it?
Process.
So this a.out will be bought into the RAM. Whatever instructions are there in your a.out would be bought into the RAM, and that becomes a process, right? No, so it is not running on the RAM. It is the RAM only contains the instruction sets, all the instructions that is there in this binary format, right? That would be over there. So what CPU would do? CPU will not fetch from the hard disk. Rather, CPU will fetch the instructions from the RAM one by one. Take the instruction, execute, again come back, take the instruction, execute, come back, take the instruction, execute. Like that, it keeps executing. So that moment when the CPU is executing your program, right? Okay, that is basically called as a process. Is that okay? That is why you call a program under execution, which is being executed, is basically called as a process. Guys, is that okay? Yes, no? Everyone, did you
Yes.
understand this or not? Yes or no? So first it would be a source file, any process. Okay, so first is the source file. After compiling, it becomes a binary. Binary is what you're executing because CPU does not understand the source file. So that will basically become your process. And that moment when the CPU is executing the instruction in the RAM, that will become your process. That is the reason you call, the process as, the program under execution. Okay. Everyone, Kirtana, are you okay with it? You have some doubt, you can ask me. Representing the class. You want to ask me something?
Yes. The basically .exe file we used to see is the process
Yeah, when you actually see
executing.
your task manager, no? In
Uh-huh.
Windows system, you have task manager.
Yes.
When there is a hanging on, what do you do actually? I mean, I don't use Windows, so I use Unix or Linux or Mac. So what do you do on Windows? You have something called as Task Manager, or what is it? Guys, anyone? Task Manager only. No, it is called Task Manager only. Yeah. So Task Manager, if you do that, it will show how many processes are running behind. Okay. So all those processes are, I mean, all those programs are nothing but the processes. Okay. So your .exe, which is running, is basically called as a binary file. Okay. When it's executing, it becomes a process.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. If you're not clear, ask me. I can explain you once again.
Yes, I mean, .exe is the executable file, and when it's executed, it becomes a process.
Exactly. So a file, see, all these are files basically, correct? So when your file is being executed, that becomes a process. .exe is a binary file. Okay. .exe is a
Okay.
binary file. When the binary file is getting executed, then that becomes a process. That is a program. So before it was a .exe, it would have been a normal source file. Somebody would have written code for it. Okay. And that code would, when it is brought into a language that the CPU will understand, that becomes your binary file. And that binary file has to be executed. No, executed means what? The CPU has to start executing the instructions that is there in that .exe file. So that moment when the CPU is executing that set of instructions which is present in the .exe file, that is when it becomes your process. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just take up Lakshmi Krishnappa's question. Okay, Lakshmi Krishnappa, can you unmute and talk to me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, when we are executing Python programs on kernel,
Executing on kernel.
no, on Jupyter Notebook,
What is Jupyter Notebook? I don't know what is Jupyter Notebook.
that is also, where we can execute Python programs.
Okay.
Source.
Okay.
So there are options like kernel, and then
Hmm.
sometimes we restart kernel and then execute the program.
Okay, I don't know what you're actually trying to tell. Well, you're asking me what is a kernel, then I can explain you what is kernel.
Yes, sir. What is a kernel?
Kernel is basically the heart of your operating system. Okay, see, if this is your application, say this is your PPT. Okay, some PPT application. Okay, and then here comes your hardware. Okay, and then here comes your OS. This assume this is your OS, operating system. Okay, so operating system also has little on top of it application. Okay, so this is your heart of your operating system, the core part, the core where you have your device drivers and system call definitions, and all those things are basically called as your kernel. Okay, so I don't know how to explain, so that I should now again explain operating system and all for that. Okay, basically kernel is the heart of your operating system. It's the core part of your operating system. Is called as a kernel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I can explain now. But if suppose if I want to explain kernel, then I'll have to again make a picture and show you how it
Even
looks and all those things.
once I'll go through, sir, what is it, and then if I don't understand, I'll ask.
Okay, say for example, you have your mobile phone, right? Which is your mobile phone that you are using?
OnePlus,
What is the operating system in it?
Windows.
It's using Windows, is it? Okay, so I'm not
I mean
okay.
Android.
Android, is it? Okay, so Android is
Yeah.
not an Android is an operating system. Okay, you can call Android as an operating system. Okay,
Hmm.
but Android internally makes use of the Linux kernel. Okay, Android is just a library or a framework which is written on top of Linux kernel. Okay, so the Android is written in C++ and Java on top of it. And what is that? So the one which drives this is Linux kernel. So kernel is basically where your drivers will lie. I mean, it's the one which will actually directly talk to the hardware. Okay, so all the code that is there inside the kernel will talk to the hardware directly. Okay, so that is what is a kernel. Kernel is basically the heart of operating system. So in detail, just go through it in Google or anything, you will get it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine. Okay, so did you understand what do you mean by a process now at least? What is the process, guys? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everyone. Okay, yeah, so that is basically a process. Okay, so tomorrow you'll understand why I'm actually telling you all these things. Right now, okay, so what do you mean by multi-processing, Kirtana Ganapati? What do you mean by multi-processing? Process you understood. What do you mean by
Yes.
multi-processing?
Executing several programs parallelly.
Yeah, correct. So, okay, so multi-processing is where, okay, you will have one process, you'll have a single process running, and this process will create another child process. Okay, no, via the call called as fork. Internally, I'm talking about Unix. Okay, Python also has fork, but we'll not be discussing all these in details in Python. Okay, but generally, okay, so when you have a process one, this is process one. Okay, so multi-processing it, when this fellow creates multiple processes, I mean, when he spawns multiple child process, this concept is basically called as a multi-processing environment or multi-process. Is that okay? That is multiple processes being involved in achieving a specific task is basically called as multi-processing. Okay, so when you say multi-processing, this process will be in a separate memory. Okay, it will be running in a separate memory, and when it creates a child process, I'll call it as child one, I'll call it as child two. Okay, so when this parent process tries to create, or when the parent process creates a new child process, when it gives birth to a new child process, that will start running in a separate memory space. Okay, it will be in a separate memory space and it would start becoming independent. This is called as memory space. This is called as multi-processing. Is that okay? Because when I'm doing threading, I'll be using make use of these terminologies. So I thought, let me first explain what are these terminologies and then get into multi-threading programming. Okay, so we understand what is multi-thread, I mean multi-processing. Multi-processing is where a single process giving birth to multiple other processes called as child process, and these child processes will be running in its own memory independently. Is that okay? Guys, is
Yes.
that okay? Right now, that is basically, so if you switch on your machine, if you switch on your computer, okay, so most of the processes would be child of some other processes. Your operating system itself will give birth to a lot of other processes because it cannot handle everything all by itself. Okay, so each and every task would be divided into multiple processes and would be given. That is basically called as multi-processing. Is that okay? Is that okay? Do you
Yes,
understand this concept? Okay, I'm not going so detailed into operating system and all that. I'm just trying to give you some terminologies which are very frequently used. Okay, so if you want to learn more about operating system, please buy one. I'll ask me in the group. I'll give you a good book for that. Okay, yeah, is that okay, guys? Multi-processing, did you understand? A single process giving birth to multiple children is basically called as multiple process to achieve a specific task. Okay.
yes.
Okay, so first thing is, I told you what do you mean by a process. A process is nothing but any program which is being executed is called as a process. Okay, second one is, I told you what do you mean by multi-processing, where one process giving birth to multiple other processes is called as multi-processing. Okay, right. What is the next thing that we have? Let us go and check out. Okay, so what do you mean by a thread? What do you mean by a thread?
Oh,
Kirtana, what do you mean by a thread?
one single chain of process.
No, so thread is nothing but, okay, a sequence of execution of instructions within a particular process is basically called as a thread. You're understanding? When you say a process in multi-processing, what happens? If this is your main process, parent process, after doing a fork, okay, it will create a child process which will be running in a separate address space. This will have a different address space and parent process will be running in a different address space. Yes or no? That is basically called as multi-processing. Okay, but whereas thread is nothing but a sequence of execution, a sequence of instructions being executed within the same address space of the parent itself. That is basically called as a thread. Okay, if suppose you don't have any thread creation, all these days we have written Python programs, right? All those are called a single threaded process. It means only one set of operations are being done and only one sequence of instructions were being executed. That is called as a single threaded process. So tomorrow we would be actually writing program which will have multiple threads like this, multiple sequence of instructions being executed simultaneously within a particular process is basically called as multi-threading. Guys, did you understand this? Okay, so this will have a sequence of instructions, this will have a sequence of instructions being executed, this will be executing a sequence of instructions. Okay, but the difference between multi-processing and multi-threading is that, okay, multi-processing, the different, I mean the process would be running in a separate set of memory. It has nothing to do with the parent's memory. Making any changes in the child process will not reflect in the parent process. Every data would be copied into a separate memory. Okay, and both would be independent from each other. That is basically a process. Whereas multi-threading, you know what happens in multi-threading? Okay, multi-threading, it would, all the threads would be sharing the common memory space of the parent itself. Guys, making sense? It is running in the same memory space as the parent itself. It means, okay, let me give you, this is basically a set of functions being called, this is another set of functions, this is some other set of functions. A series of functions is being called and being executed simultaneously within a particular code. Okay, let me give you one more example. Okay, I'll give you an analogy now. Okay, so you're doing your you have you used Microsoft Word, guys? Microsoft Word,
Yes, sir.
word sheet, you have done that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
spreadsheet, you have used spreadsheet, no? Okay, if you're doing your Microsoft Word, if you're typing something onto your Microsoft Word, have you observed when you type some one or two paragraphs, immediately there would be some red color lines which would highlight if there is any mistake in your vocabulary, English vocabulary? Have you noticed it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, no. So that is called as multi-threading. It means when a one thread is concentrating on writing, on the creating a document, the other thread in the background would be doing your spell check, whether is there any mistake and all that. Okay. So that is basically an example of multi-threaded program. Is that okay? Okay. Or if you, I'll give you one more analogy is that, okay, when I am talking to you guys, okay, so say for example, when I'm talking to you guys, I keep doing this. Okay. I keep, my hand would be actually, just doing like this or doing like this and all that. Okay. So I'm talking and another thread is doing some other activity. That is basically called as, a multi-threaded environment or multi-threading. Guys, did you get what I'm saying? Yes, no? Okay. All
Yes.
these days, we were actually running a single threaded process. We were having single threaded process. Okay. But from tomorrow, we would be actually writing program which will support multiple threads. It means in the same program, multiple threads would be running. Is that okay? So we are not doing multi-processing in this course. We are only doing multi-threading over here. Guys, is that okay? You have any questions? You can ask me. I'll wait. Guys, any questions you can ask me? I'm waiting for your questions.
So can you repeat what thread is, the exact wording? So
Same thread is okay. Okay, let me explain. Thread is basically, see, you assume you have a process, okay, and process is nothing but what, a sequence of instructions, right, Kirtana?
yes, sir.
Yeah, you must answer whenever I'm saying, you should say yes or no. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you have a process. What is a process? Process is nothing but a sequence of instructions being executed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I want certain sequence of steps being should to be executed parallelly. Okay, there would be one function doing some, say for example, one function doing one task, some other function doing some other task, and there is a third function which is doing the third task. Okay, and I want a
Yes.
separate stream of execution which is parallelly running all those three functions. All these days what we did, okay, we will doing it one by one, correct? No, function 1 will call function 2 and then function 3 and then function 4 or like that. It was only at a time only one particular function was running or one sequence of instructions were running. Yes or no, Kirtanam? All these days.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what is multi-threaded? So that is called as single-threaded. Okay, only thread, only one single stream of execution or one single sequence of execution was happening. Okay, multi-threading is where I create multiple threads and ask each thread to do simultaneously multiple operations. It means each thread would take its own task and do it simultaneously.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so in that case, in my example, which is shown on the screen, there are three threads doing three set of different operations simultaneously doing. This is basically called as multi-threading.
Okay. So
Okay, so
everything is independent of each other, right?
independent of each other, but all the three would be sharing the same memory
Same
space.
memory space.
All
Okay.
it means, if there is a global variable somewhere, if there is a global variable somewhere, okay, and if this fellow makes changes to that this particular variable, that change would be reflected in this particular thread. You got what I'm saying? It's a single program, single process, and if that process has a global variable, some global variable which is accessible to all, okay, and if this thread makes any changes to this particular global variable, that would be reflected for this thread as well as this thread. Got it?
Okay, sir.
What does
Got
this indicate now? What does this indicate? It means all the threads are sharing the same address.
memory space. Yeah.
Whereas in process, what happens? Okay, parent process have already created a child process. Yes or no? And everything that was there in the parent has been duplicated in the child process, including the global variables and all those, right? So if child process makes any change to the global variable, that is reflecting in the address space belonging to the child. It has nothing to do with the parent. This is multi-processing, whereas multi-threading is happening within the same address space as of the parent. Did you get that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ask me doubts, please. Guys, you can ask me doubts. So is that okay? Everyone? Difference between threads and processes. It's very important to understand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Having said that, okay. Now, what do you mean by multitasking? Okay. Now, let me ask a question to Kirtana, representing the entire class. Okay. So, Kirtana, you're there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you are using a mobile phone, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, while you're using mobile phone or laptop now, currently?
Laptop.
You're using a laptop. Okay. So, what all work are you doing on your laptop, Kirtana? How many
Now, sir.
applications are opening actually? Have you experienced this, that when you are when you are actually doing your assignment, you will also be simultaneously listening?
Sorry, sir.
Have you done any time this one, when you are watching, when you are actually typing some document or anything, simultaneously you will also be listening to music? Have you done that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, you will be actually mailing. Have you done that?
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yes,
means
sir.
you are doing multiple jobs at a time, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
I think everyone in the class would have done this multiple job. Yes or no? Correct? Yeah. This is basically called as what? Multitasking. Okay. This is called as multitasking, where multiple jobs have been done by your CPU. Okay. Now, Kirtana, the question to you is that, do you think that, okay, let me show that PPT to you guys. Okay. So now you see that you have music running, you're working on your Excel, and you also have your browser open. Now, don't you think all these are three different applications? Yeah. Kirtana,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yeah, they are
Music,
different.
music is a different application. Okay, Excel is a different application, and browser is a different application. And I'm sure that everybody would have definitely opened all these three things at a time, anytime. Yes or no?
Yes,
You've
sir.
definitely done this, correct? No.
Yeah.
So now you tell me, when you're doing this, do you think everyone is? I mean, no, end of the day, who is basically executing all these instructions? End of the day, who is actually executing the instructions for all this? Even browser is a program, Excel is a program, music is a program, correct? So end of the day, who will execute all these things, whatever you want? It is a CPU only, no?
Yes, sir. CPU.
Guys, yes or no? It is a CPU who will basically execute the instructions. They are all applications, different applications. End of the day, if those applications has to work, its binary should be executed by the CPU, correct? No? Okay. So now, do you think that because you are parallelly using these applications, do you think all these applications are executed parallelly by the CPU
Yes,
or
sir.
not? It's parallelly being
Yes.
executed.
Yes.
How do you say that, Kirtana, that all the applications have been parallelly executing actually? How can you say, what do you mean
Because
by parallelly executing?
at the same time, everything will be running.
Yeah, so that is what you feel. Okay, see, Sushma said it. Sushma, you're right. Okay, that is what you feel, that CPU is parallelly executing all the process, is what you feel. Okay, but it is not parallelly. It is not simultaneously running. Rather, I would like to call it as apparently simultaneously running all the applications. Guys, making sense? Do you want an analogy? Tell me, I'll give you an
Yes,
analogy.
sir.
You want an analogy? Okay. Do
Yes,
you want
sir.
an analogy? Tell me, I'll give an. Okay. Now listen to the analogy over here. Okay. I'll tell you how multitasking is done in your operating system or in your system computer. Okay. So what happens? So now there are what will happen? Now let me take 5 people. Okay. Who is this? This is KG. What is KG? Kirtana Ganapati. Okay. Now we'll take one more girl. Who is this girl? This is LK. Who is LK? Lakshmi Krishnappa. I'll take one more girl. Okay. SLD. Sushma LD. Okay. So then one more girl. Okay. So who is there? One more. Danya Manogaran is there. Okay. DM. Danya Manogaran is there. Okay. Then we'll have Akshata is also there. Akshata AR, Akshata R is there. Okay. So all these are girls, right? Now here there is Subhash. Here there is Subhash. Okay. So this guy is SKU, Subhash KU. Now I will act like a moderator, and I have given a topic for discussion as a group discussion. Okay. You guys know group discussion, right? Everybody knows group discussion. A topic would be given, and time would be given to each and every person. Everybody has to talk. Correct? No? Now, what is
Yes.
the topic given? What is the topic given? The topic given is, should India attack Pakistan? Yes or no? That is a topic given when whether India should attack Pakistan. Now, Akshata R is completely patriotic. Assume the topic is given by Subhash Keyo. Akshata is completely patriotic, and she wants to say that India wants to attack Pakistan. She will decide. She will start speaking for length. She'll start speaking for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. She's being speaking that India has to attack Pakistan within 10 minutes. She has decided that India has to attack Pakistan. Correct, no? So but and after deciding this, she's not stopping. Akshata R is not stopping, and she's continuously talking about India attacking Pakistan. Now tell me, don't you think all these other people will now attack Akshata? Guys, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Why
Yes.
will others attack Akshata? Because she is not giving them time, because she herself is talking for a very long time. Agree, disagree? Agree, disagree, right? Now, if but so that is not the right way to do it. You know what is the right way to do it? The moment, okay, Akshata, each and everyone, I would have given 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes. What is this called as 5 minutes? What is this called as, guys? In technical terms, in operating system terms, what is this called as? It is basically called as a time slice. It is called as a time slice. Okay, what is a time slice? Time slice is the time given to an individual process for running. After that, it cannot run. That is basically time slice. So I have given a time slice of 5 minutes for each and every person in the group discussion over here. So Akshata started speaking, okay, and she has to speak for 30 minutes. But though she has to speak for 30 minutes, do you think this is scale? Moderator will give her so much of time? Moderator will not give so much of time, because moderator knows that there are other people who are actually waiting for it. And the moment it clocks 5 minutes are done is done, okay, immediately SKU will say, Akshata, stop, and Danya Manogaran start. The moment is Danya Manogaran start, she will start actually talking about India attacking Pakistan, and Subhash Keyu will be waiting until she finishes what? The 5 minutes. Once 5 minutes is over, immediately SKU will now say, okay, who was Sushma? Sushma, please start. Okay, now she will start talking. So this keeps on happening. So once, okay, Kirtana Ganapati also completes, immediately Subhash Keyu will now give the chance to Akshata AR. Akshata R. You understanding it? So this is called as round robin fashion. I don't know if you have heard round robin algorithm. Have you heard of this algorithm? Round robin algorithm. Round robin algorithm.
Yes.
Round robin algorithm is used in operating system, okay, to basically give some amount of time for each and every processes to run, and after that, okay, it will pass it to some the other processes. Okay, so if you take this analogy to your operating system, to your computers, SKU is basically your scheduler. I mean, OS, in OS there is a program called a scheduler. What the scheduler will do is, okay, so schedule, the time slot is given for 5 minutes. Okay, once this process completes 5 minutes, immediately it will start operating on the other process. Once this process completes 5 minutes, the next process, then next process. So this keeps on happening so fast. This is called as switching from one process to other. Process switch, I don't know if you've heard of this process switch. So this happens so fast that you will feel that everyone are simultaneously working. Okay, not everybody are simultaneously working, rather they are apparently simultaneously working. Kirtana, did you get what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that here, okay, you are running music, you are running Excel, and you are actually having a browser. Okay, you feel that everyone is actually simultaneously working. It is not simultaneously working, because not everybody can work simultaneously. CPU at a time can execute only one process, not more than one process. Okay, no. So certain amount of slime size will be given to this application. After completing this, then it will give the time slice to Excel, then it will start executing this, then again back like this. So this will be happening, this switching will be happening, and so fast that you feel that, Kirtana, there is a disturbance there. Is it yours?
I'm not sure, sir. I'll mute for some time. I'll explain.
Yeah. Okay, so when this is happening simultaneously, right, you feel that, okay, everything, all the applications are being parallelly being executed. No, it is not parallelly being executed, but it is apparently simultaneously being executed, my dear friends. Okay, did you understand what I'm actually trying to tell you? Guys, did you understand or not? Okay, so this is called as, okay, multitasking. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? Okay, not okay. Clear? Okay, fine. Any questions you can ask me. I'll wait for you. Yeah, Kirtana, you can unmute and you can talk to me. Kirtana Ganapati?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, the switching which you told between the
Who is
different
this?
app, Bhavna.
Bhavna. Yeah, Bhavna, tell me.
Sir, the switching which you told between different applications,
Hmm.
will it depend from application to application, or will it be same for all the applications?
It would be same for all the process. It depends on your scheduler.
Okay.
It depends means what is that it? I did not understand. Are you talking about the time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, time would be the same. Scheduler will give the time. And there is, I mean, it's not as easy as I said. So there is a lot of things that goes inside the kernel, operating system kernel. Okay. So based on various parameters, but yes, time slice would be the same for every process.
Okay, sir.
Now what happens is, now listen to me, Bhavna. Bhavna, you're there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now listen to me, okay? So here there are two things. One is CPU bound and the other one is input output bound. Okay, it means now let me take this example. Okay, now I have given the time slice for Akshata. Okay, and she wants to speak about India attack Pakistan or not. Okay, so she spoke for 2 minutes, and after speaking for 2 minutes she took time for, okay, taking some file, so that she want to prove her whatever she said was right or not. She want to prove her comments, so she just wanted to open her bag and remove that file that she had in her bag. Okay, so during that time what happens, immediately the scheduler will switch it to someone else. Okay,
Okay.
the scheduler don't want to wait, or the operating system don't want to wait for that 1 or 2 minutes that Akshata is making use. Okay, so that instead of wasting that time waiting for some input output to happening, okay, what the OS does is it immediately shift to Danya Manogaran, so that she'll be speaking. Okay, so the moment she comes back, immediately, the scheduler will switch it back to Akshata and then continue the talking and then go back like that. You're understanding it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So the factors that I told you is these factors: input output. Okay, suppose it is waiting for input output to happen, it is waiting for the user to give some input. In that case, when some waiting is happening, why should scheduler also wait for the process? Let the process wait. Once that input output happened, let me again come back and work on that process. So when the process is waiting, not doing anything, let me give chance to some other process. No, you're getting what I'm saying, Danya? Oh, sorry, Bhavna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you understood, you're convinced or not?
Yes, sir. Convinced.
Yeah, so that is called as input output, waiting for an input output. Okay, network
Okay.
input output or normal file input output. Okay, so such kind of things, it would change. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other question you can ask me. Guys, is that okay? Any other questions? Understood about multitasking? Yes, no, everyone. Can I proceed further? Yeah, okay, right. So that is multitasking. Okay, now Kirtana, can you please
Yes, sir.
unmute? Yeah, Kirtana,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the
Yes.
problem with threads? Yeah, or what is the problem with multi-processing? Or what is the problem with
Mul-
threading? What do you think? What is the problem?
with multi-processing or multi-threading, you're asking?
Anything for that matter, multi-threading or multi-processing. What is the problem?
We may have a limitation in the number of processes that can be handled.
No, that is not a problem. You have huge
Okay.
memory. You have huge the nowadays. So you cannot talk about memory. It is we are talking in terms of. I think TB is also done. Is the next
Terabytes.
thing, correct? So memories and all
Yes.
is not a problem. What is the other problem? Time slice is also not a problem. Here you have high speed CPUs today, very high speed CPUs. Okay, what is the problem with multitasking or multi-processing or not multitasking? Yeah, anything for that matter. Everything is same. What multi-threading or whatever it is. Okay. So shall I give you an analogy, guys? Shall I give you an analogy
Yes,
so
sir.
that you'll be able to understand? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me take two people. One is Kirtana Ganapati and other one is Danya Manogaran. Okay, Kirtana Ganapati and Danya Manogaran has decided to go to. Okay, no, listen. Okay, so Kirtana Ganapati and Danya Manogaran has decided to go to Kanyakumari. Where, guys? Put that in the chat box. Put that in the chat box, guys. Where they have decided to go? Where is that they have decided to go? Where have they decided to go? Kanyakumari, correct? No. So how many trains are there to Kanyakumari? How many trains are there to Kanyakumari? Only one train is there, Kanyakumari Express, correct? No, they have gone to this thing. Okay. So now here one person is sitting. I mean, this is not train. Okay, this is not train. This is, what is this? What is this? Okay, this is railway booking center. This is railway booking center. Okay, now this is railway booking center. Okay, not railway station here, Bhavna. This is railway booking center. Okay. Now what happens is that I know everybody would be doing it online today, but let me take this example. Okay. So here one person is standing in the queue to book the ticket. Here one person is standing, and here Kirtana is standing. Okay. Now here there is one more person standing, and here Danya Manogaran is standing for booking the ticket. Okay. Now what happens? So this fellow did his ticket booking, and he will go. He'll go away. Okay, so he'll go away, and Kirtana will come front. Okay, Kirtana will come here, and meanwhile same thing what happened was that this fellow finished the booking, and therefore Danya Manogaran will come here. Okay, now how many tickets are there for Kanyakumari pending? Tell me how many tickets are there. Only one ticket is pending for what is that available for Kanyakumari. Only one ticket. How many guys? Put that in the chat box. How many tickets pending? Only one ticket is there, that's all, not more than one ticket. Okay, now how many people are trying to book that ticket? How many people are trying to book that ticket? Two people, not one. These are because only these two Kanyakumari. This fellow is going somewhere else. Okay, he's going to somewhere else, don't worry about that fellow. Okay, so two people are trying to book for one ticket, only available one ticket. Okay, who went first? Who went first? This is Danya Manogaran. This is Kirtana Ganapati. Okay, who went first? Danya Manogaran went first. Okay, and this fellow is a boy and this is a girl. Assume something like that. Okay. Now what he will do? She will go and ask. See, Danya Manogaran will go and ask, boss, I want to go to Kanyakumari. Ticket is there or not? Okay. So this fellow will say, he'll go and check the computer. Okay, the database. Now database is showing available or not available. What is it showing? What is it showing, guys? Available. It is available. So he'll say, yes madam, it is available. What to do? Sir, I want one ticket to Kanyakumari, can you book? Okay, he'll say no problem, I will book, and he will take the money from Danya Manogaran. He'll take the money, and by the time he was booking, no, he got a call from his wife. Okay, who got this fellow got a call from his wife, and he started talking to the wife. Okay, how are you, what you done for dinner, I'm coming early today, we will go out for restaurant and all that. He was talking. When he was talking, and he has already taken the money, he has also put that money is taken and all that. It's already been updated in the database. Okay, but the ticket is not completely booked. It is said available, it is not booked now, correct? Meanwhile what happened? Okay, this Kirtana will go to this counter and ask, is the ticket available for Kanyakumari? I want to go to Kanyakumari. So she will say, let me check. Okay, now what will she see now? Tell me, is the ticket available? Yes or no, guys? It is also available over here, correct? Now this fellow is not yet booked, but he has taken the money thinking that. Okay, now she is also waiting for the ticket. Now she will say, yes boss, I have the ticket. Okay, it is showing available. So she will say, okay, give me that, I will give you the money, give me the ticket. Okay, so she will actually take that ticket. I mean, she will see that, she will book the ticket and give it to her. Okay, and meanwhile this fellow will keep the call and will see that the ticket is not available, or he will try to book that ticket again. Correct? Now, don't you think there is a problem over here? It was showing available over here. He took the money and he's trying to book a ticket which is not available. Yes or no, guys? Did you see the problem happening over here? Correct? No? So, what is the problem here? The problem is one common resource is being, is trying to be used by two different threads or two different processes. Yes or no? Two different processes or two different threads. Yes or no, guys? Process 1 and process 2. Correct? No? So both are trying to access a common resource. Okay, some resource. Okay, which is only one resource is there. Both are trying to access. Correct? Now I know that this kind of situation may not come in the real-time scenario because the software that is handled by IRCTC is very nice. They have a very good software, correct? Now tell me, Kirtana Ganapati, okay, when Kirtana, you are there.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, now when Danya Manogaran goes and asks this fellow about the ticket, okay, and when he is taking the money, what is that he had to do there? What is it he had to do?
Yes. He has to block the ticket so that nobody can access it.
Exactly. So what is it he had to do? He has to see, okay, there is a ticket available, give the money, and okay, he should have put a lock over there. Yes or no? He should have put a lock over there, and then he should have been speaking to his wife. Correct? No? So that when he has put a lock over here, what will happen? When Kirtana Ganapati goes and asks here, and when she is trying to access that same resource, she will not be able to access it. The reason is that it says locked. correct? No, and when it is locked, she will not be able to access it. And once after he speaking to his wife, he booking the ticket and updating the details and all that, then he can release the lock, he can unlock it, so that she will be able to go and check the ticket status because it is unlocked. Now she will say that, boss, it is not there, it is already gone, I will not be able to give you Kirtana, sorry. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Hello guys, did you understand what I'm trying to tell you? So that common resource, in technical terms, in OS terms, you call it as a critical section.
Criticals.
It is called as a critical section. I don't know if you've heard about this. Okay, have you heard of this, guys? Critical section? Yes or no? Have you heard of this? Yeah. So this is basically called as a critical section. Critical section in the sense a common resource or common place where a common piece of code which two people are trying to access is basically called as a critical section, is what I've actually told you over here. What is a critical section? Okay, might be this is, instead of person, let me take process. Okay, this is process 1 and this is process 2. Okay, no, so process 1 is also writing to the same file and process 2 is also writing to the same file. Okay, no, so or if process 1 will be reading from this file or process 2 would be reading from this file. Okay, what if, because both are using the same document, okay, there are chances that this file will get corrupted. Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? He would be writing some data. Okay, just before he completes writing the data, this fellow might go and take that incomplete data. Yes or no, guys? Okay, this is basically called as a critical section. Okay, critical section. So what is that we have to do to avoid critical section, guys? Tell me. Okay, when process A is updating it, what is that he has to do? He has to log this, so that when process B tries to write or take the value, okay, he sees that this critical section has been logged, so he'll understand that I will have to wait until this lock has been removed. And then what will happen? Okay, once he completes his operation, he would unlock it, then this fellow can actually go and take up and lock again and then do the operation on this particular critical section. Guys, is that okay? Did you understand what I'm trying to tell you, guys? Yes or no?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
this is basically called as a critical section, guys. Okay, so in our tomorrow's program, we will be having two threads who are trying to access a common resource, and we will see how to avoid it using locks. Is that okay? Right? So if I
Yes.
don't explain all this today, then it would you won't understand anything tomorrow. That's the reason I decided to teach you this today. Is that okay? Everyone okay, guys?
Sir.
Yeah. Okay. So any doubt, I can wait for you. I'm waiting for you, guys. You have any doubts, you can ask me. Ask me if you have any doubts, guys. I can explain. Any doubts? Can I proceed? Just say proceed. If I can proceed, just say proceed. Can I proceed? Okay, cool. All right. Now coming to deadlock. Okay, what do you mean by deadlock? Deadlock. Have you heard of deadlock? Anyone? Kirtana, what do you mean by deadlock, Kirtana?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is deadlock?
A process will be prevented from getting executed because of certain other processes.
Okay. Okay, fine. So anything else? Any more example? Deadlock. Okay. Okay, fine. Now listen, I'll tell you what do you mean by a deadlock. Okay. Deadlock, first of all, creating, okay, I found it really very difficult, okay, to create a program for a deadlock. Okay, it's very difficult to create a deadlock, and we'll not even know how deadlock happens. Okay, and once deadlock happens, it is very difficult to identify and remove the deadlock from your programs. I have experienced it practically during my projects and all that, when I was running when I was executing my projects while I was in company. It is very difficult, and once it is done, trust me, it is a nightmare. Okay, no. So then, what do you mean by, basically, what do you mean by deadlock? Listen to me carefully. Okay, you have two processes over here, guys. Okay, as you can see in the screen, or see on the screen, you have two processes. Okay, so what will this process 1 do? Process 1 is basically, okay, want to acquire or want to actually go and use this resource 2. Assume, guys, are you with me? Are you understanding? Yes,
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Process 1 wants to go and work with resource 2, but process 2 has already is using this resource, and he has put a lock on this so that no one else will be able to access it. Yes or no? Correct, guys? Yes or no? See, like this,
Yes,
process
sir.
1 wants to make use of resource 2, but process 2 is already using resource 2, and he has put a lock on this. Why has he put a lock on this? Because no one else will be able to access resource 2 when process 2 is working on it. Guys, yes or no? Guys, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what happens? Process 2, meanwhile, he is using resource 2. Meanwhile, To complete this operation with resource 2, he wants to make use of resource 1. But process 1 has already acquired resource 1 and he has put a lock on this so that no one else can access resource 1 when he is doing some task. Okay. Now process 1, to complete that operation, he is dependent on resource 2. Guys, did you understand what I'm trying to tell you guys? You're getting what I'm saying? So what is happening? Process 1 is waiting for process 2 to leave this lock, and process 2 is waiting for process 1 to remove the lock from resource 1. So what happens? Both of them are not releasing the locks, and what happens is this brings in a situation called as deadlock, and the program would just block like that only forever. Okay, and such a difficult situation, and it's very difficult. There is no right format, or there is no right code or design pattern to avoid such kind of deadlocks. Okay, it's only by trial and error you will be able to remove deadlock in your operating system. The reason why is it? Because you don't know how the operating system has been scheduled for each and every process. Okay, it's quite difficult to come out of this deadlock. Now you'll have to take care of it. Anyways, this is the concept called as deadlock. Did you guys understand? Yes, no, because we will be generating a deadlock tomorrow in our program. Okay, with a lot of difficulty, I have created one deadlock in the program. Okay, so let us see. Is that okay, guys? Anything else to be asked? Kirtan, you have something to ask me on behalf of the class? Ask me something.
No, sir. No,
What is
sir.
the deadlock?
Nothing, sir.
Do you understand what is deadlock now? So for deadlock,
Yes,
what is that? You need 2 processes, 2 resources, and 2 locks. Yes or no? Yes, no. 2
Yes, sir.
processes, 2 processes are there, 2 resources are there, and 2 locks are there. Did you see that 2 locks have been put on this? Correct now, guys? Right? So when you have such kind of situation, you should be very careful. Even in your real-time project, this will lead to deadlock. Okay, so in your exam, in your interviews and all, they may not ask you to write program for this, but they'll ask you what do you mean by deadlock. Then you should be able to at least put this picture and explain it to them. Okay, if possibly you want to write a program, you can write a program, not a big deal. You can just write the program that I'll be showing it to you tomorrow. Okay, guys, okay with this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Right. So can I proceed? Okay. To the last slide. Okay. The last slide is all about producer consumer problem. Okay. Producer consumer problem. Okay. So what do you mean by producer consumer problem, Kirtana?
So I don't remember.
But
I've
you
heard
heard.
it, but not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyone else can unmute and talk to me? What do you mean by Danya Manjunath? You know what do you mean by producer consumer problem? Producer consumer problem. You know, you don't know. Suthilaya, you know what do you mean by producer consumer? Anyone who knows producer consumer?
No, sir.
No idea? Okay. All right. Okay. So what is this producer consumer problem? Is like this. Okay. So you might have 2 process or 2 threads, whoever it is. Okay. This is process 1 or process thread 1, or let me make it as thread 1. Okay. Thread 2. Okay. So the only difference is thread is, 2 threads are running in the same process, and if it is process, 2 process and 2 different memory locations. That's the only difference. Okay. So you will have some common variable, okay, or common file, or common variable, or common network, or anything for that matter. This is a critical section. Okay. So what is the duty of a producer? Producer has to produce some data. It might be anything, any data for that matter. Okay, which the thread 2 will consume. Okay, so let me call him as the producer. Let me call him as the consumer. Okay, producer is a program which will produce the data and put it over here, and consumer is a program which will take the value that the producer has actually produced and utilize it. Guys, did you understand so much? Guys, did you understand so much what I'm telling you? Okay, producer is a program or a process which will produce a data and put it onto this particular variable or a file or whatever it is, a common section. Okay, and the consumer will take that data, read this data from here, and he will utilize that data. Okay, no, so basically producer will write and the consumer will read that data whichever is written by the producer. But you know what is the problem here? The problem here is that, okay, because our CPU would be executing lot of processes, okay, and it is simultaneously executing the processes. What happens is that, okay, assume thread 1, that is the producer, would actually put a data over here. Okay, he would put a data over here, say 1 or 2, 1 he would put. Okay, now what are you expecting, guys? Tell me, if producer is putting data 1 here, what should happen? Can you tell me, Kirtan? Can you tell me what will happen? What is that you're expecting from here now?
Thread 2 should take that data.
Exactly, that consumer should actually use it, isn't it? But
Yes.
even before the consumer uses it, producer will produce one more data and make it 2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now the time slice is given to the consumer. Okay. Now what is happening? The consumer will basically read the data what? 2. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't you think that is a wrong data that has been read by the consumer? Because CPU switches the time slice between different processes, okay, before even the consumer tries to consume the first data produced by the producer automatically immediately put the another data.
Okay.
Do you get
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir.
So now
Yes, sir.
then thread will take the second data, and or sometimes, okay. So even before what is that? Say if suppose producer will produce the data 2, okay. So so what? Okay, once the consumer consumes 2, what is that you expect? The producer has to produce the third data, isn't it? Okay. There is a situation where consumer will be taking the same data once again and thinking that I got the data.
Yes.
You got what I'm saying? So what is that we have to
Yes,
do
sir,
now?
yes.
Okay, we have to do some mechanism or bring in some mechanism to remove this problem. The problem is that, okay, the producer must produce the data, okay, and must not produce another data until the consumer has consumed that data. Once it consumes the data, then only producer produce the new data, and then the consumer should take that data immediately. Okay, so consumer must not take that data twice. You're getting what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying? Okay, consumer can only take the data only once the producer says I've done. Okay, so producer will put the data and say I'm done. Then consumer will take the data and say even I am done. Then he will do. So you understood this? So this is basically called as a producer consumer. So tomorrow we will start with a bad way of producer consumer with a problem, and then we will see how we can solve it in different methods. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the whole session tomorrow would be basically on threads only. Okay, it's not in process. I'll be making use of threads completely. So to understand threads, I just gave you the concept of process. Okay, so I will go from scratch. You tell me which is that I have to explain once again to you guys now. Then I'll explain and then wind up. Guys, is that okay? So first one, do you have any doubts over here, guys? What is the process? Do you have any process, any doubts on how you want to, I mean, you want, okay, let me show you a process, how it looks like. What is here while true pass? Okay, now what is this program, guys? 1.py, what is it doing? 1.py, let's put that in the chat. Kirtan, can you tell me what is happening in this program?
Yeah.
Now
It's a
1.py,
while
now
loop.
tell me 1.py is a program or is a source file or is it a process?
It's a source file.
Okay, so once I run that, that becomes a process, no? Compiling and all will happen
Yes,
internally.
sir.
Let us not bother about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when I run that, that becomes a process, right?
Yeah.
What is the guarantee that becomes a process? What is the guarantee that
But
becomes
that
a process?
one more file will get generated internally. I don't remember that file name.
No, that is binary file. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about process. Python. Let me
Okay.
run this 1.py. Okay. So what? There was a while loop, continuous while loop, right? Inside.
Yes, sir.
Yes
Yes,
or
sir. Yes, sir.
no? There was a
Yeah.
continuous while loop which was running. So now the process is running, right?
Yes, sir.
Now the program. I mean, it's now the program is running. It means there should be a
It's a
process, correct? No?
process.
It's a
Yeah.
process, right? So let me open a new tab. Okay. Basic. Okay. I've opened a new tab now. Okay. So what is okay? Minus one. PS minus EF. Okay. So PS minus is a command to actually show you all the processes running in my machine. Okay. So it has 1 second. Let me see. So you see that it has the user ID, the process ID, the parent process ID, and all those things. How many childs it has, and all those things that has been shown. Okay. So can you see in this case, I have my program running as a process. Did you see that,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Everyone. So this is basically currently a process. Threads cannot be seen here. Okay, because only processes would be seen here. Threads cannot be seen. This is basically a process. 1.py is basically. So there are so many processes. Did you see how many processes are running? On my Mac, there are so many processes running. So many are running. Okay, they're all called as processes. Is that okay? The starting process like that. It started. Guys, is that okay? You understood what you mean by a process?
Yes.
Okay, now let me stop that and see whether that program is there or not. Now this program is stopped, right? Yes or no? In
Yes, sir.
that case, let me do once again and see whether that process would be there or not. Okay. Now can you see that 1.py guys anywhere here?
No, sir.
There is no 1.py, right? Yeah, it is gone. So it is no more a process. It has been removed from the RAM. Okay, no? So these are the programs which are currently running on my machine, which is there on the RAM. Is that okay? Different processes. Guys, is that okay? These are the different processes which are running on my RAM now. Okay, right. Okay, so that is basically called as a process. Is that okay? Anything else I must explain to you guys here? Tell me, please. Anything else? Tell me if not, say proceed so that I can go to the next one. Kirtana, you understood all this?
Yes, sir.
On behalf of the class, everybody? Okay, yeah, cool. So what do you mean by multiprocessing? Did you understand this? You want me to explain anything over here? Multiprocessing? No? Just say no. If it is nothing is there, just say no so that I can proceed further. Say no. Okay, right. So thread, I'll show you anyways thread tomorrow. You have anything to ask? Thread is just within a process. Multiple streams of execution within a process is basically called as a thread. Okay, next, multi-threading, multiple threads in a single process. Okay, no, nothing to explain? Yeah, okay, right. So multitasking, I told you what happens. It is apparently simultaneously using round robin. There are many algorithms, okay, for CPU scheduling, there are many algorithms. One of the famous algorithm is round robin algorithm. Okay, just go through if you're interested. Right. Okay. So critical section, the common resource which has been acquired, which is being operated upon by multiple process or multiple threads is basically called as a critical section. Okay, where that common area is there, that is called as a critical section. Is that okay, guys? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So deadlock. Process 1 is trying to access a resource on which process 2 has already been acquired a lock. Okay, and process 2 is waiting for resource 1. Okay, so that it can complete resource 2's operation, but resource 1 is already been acquired by locked by process 1, and in turn to complete that it is waiting for process 2 to release the lock on resource 2. In meanwhile, both are waiting for each other to release the locks on each resources. That is when it this kind of deadlock will appear. Is that okay, guys? Deadlock situation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Then producer consumer problem also I told you. What is producer consumer problem? Is that okay? Right? Producer must produce and consumer must consume it immediately without any delay. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So shall we wind up? So tomorrow shall we have multi-threading program wise? Is that okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So if possible, before coming to tomorrow's session, make sure that you go through these concepts and all on the internet or somewhere and you try to understand these concepts. These are very important operating system concepts. Okay. Will you do that? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. General, nothing in terms of Python. It has nothing to do with Python. They're all general operating system concepts. Okay. So you can say process or what is a process, what is multi-processing and all that. And don't look only with specific to Python. Just generally you learn about it. It's all common with everything. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Sir?
Else? You're asking me something? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Who
Sir,
is
I'm
that?
Jyoti.
Jyoti, tell me, Jyoti.
Sir, yesterday you have given an assignment, no, sir,
What assignment did I give?
to work on multiple clients.
Okay.
Sir, that we can't able to run that multiple shells on Windows.
Okay.
So how to do it, sir?
Put in a script file and run it automatically. Put it in
Okay.
one file, one shell, you don't have, okay. Oh, you don't have Windows. Okay. I think you should be able to do here in one or the other way. You know to write script in your Windows?
No.
You know scripting, shell scripting? Scripting, you know?
Yes, sir.
What do you know scripting?
Passing set of commands.
I don't know, what scripting you know?
Unix scripting, I know, sir.
Okay, so you have Linux machine with you?
No, sir.
Okay, but you know Linux scripting, but you don't have Linux machine, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm not sure how you do your scripting in your Windows. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me find out some way for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because I don't know what computer how you are working and all that. You can still do it here. Okay, why don't you just
I
put
will
this
try,
in?
sir.
Just put it in Google, like asking like how do you do how to run multiple shells on Windows command prompt. Okay.
Okay.
I think you would get some answer. Just try it out. Even I'll try it out for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma. Fine then. Anything else?
No, sir.
Yeah. So shall we wind up, guys? Okay. So meet you tomorrow with multi-threading programming. Okay. Chalo. Take care. Bye.